The following is a presentation of iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Martinsville Speedway. It's the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Gary Smithley Racing right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Myself, Andy Kessler, joined tonight, of course, as always, Kelly Dahl and Daniel Eberhardt up here in the booth, and the lovely and talented Cisco Scaramuza down in the production van getting that picture to you. And gentlemen, we're here, chase racing round number 2. The round of 8 is upon us here. First stop, Martinsville Speedway. 150 laps here tonight on this half-mile speedway. It's only a mere 75 miles. It doesn't sound like much, but this could be a long race when you get down and dirty with these guys. Beating and banging is what we might see here tonight. And we get the second round of the chase all started up. 8 drivers now tied with the points. It's going to make it pretty interesting over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very difficult race for these drivers here. Since we are in the chase, I mean, no one has really anything to lose, and they're going to be pushing as hard as possible. I doubt we're going to have any trucks finish tonight without damage on their trucks.
That's exactly usually what happens when we come to a place like this, or even Darlington. Everybody gets the stripe on the right side of that truck, of their truck or car. But tonight, led, of course, by Byron Daly in the chase standings. We got, of course, the 36 of Bentley Glazer. We got Paul Cooper. We got Tyler Dalton's in here as well, too. Tommy Ryan, J.D. Laird. You got Chad Coleman and Justin Weaver, all the drivers that have moved on from round number 1. Of course, Alan Cryer, Doy Woods, Richard Beasley, and Adam Benefield. Not able to move on from the round of 12, Daniel. But now we're in this new round. 4 drivers of the 8 now can go for the championship in about 5 weeks or so. What's this? It's not so much now just get some top 10s. These guys really got to push to get those top 3s and possibly wins to get themselves qualified for that final race at Homestead.
Yeah, they do, and this is a tough track to do it at. I picture I would check down on this this round. This track would be the wild card. This or Phoenix that they have coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's one of them situations here that it's real tight racetrack. You're going to be looking for bump and runs, and when they wreck here, it usually takes out 4 to 5 trucks. So it's going to be a long night, Andy, and I think it's going to be one of them situations, Andy, where it's going to come down to it where maybe a non-chase driver will win this race tonight.
Well, we had quite an interesting race last week at Talladega Superspeedway. Of course, one of the more another wild card, as if you were to say it, just like Martinsville here tonight. So much can happen at those super speedways, and a lot did happen. We saw a couple major accidents early in that race, and really took a lot of guys out of contention from that race right from the beginning, really right from lap 13 on the race last week. And it saw basically a 4-car or 4-truck race, the later stages of that race. And of course, E.J. O'Rourke came through it all, was able to dodge all those wrecks. Comes home with the victory, his first win of the season, first win in the ASCORS leagues as well. So for E.J. O'Rourke, a great job, not in the chase, but he comes out with a win. It's a pretty cool feeling when you can get that done. A couple of the other drivers as well in the top 5, Tyler Dalton, Paul Cooper, Ray Rittenauer, great run for him, Alex Bergeron as well, a top 5. So a lot of the guys who needed a good run to guarantee their move into this next round, they were able to get that last week. A few of the other drivers that really needed it weren't quite able to get it, caught up in some of those wrecks, and that basically set the tone for them in this chase for the championship here. Martinsville on the schedule, first one up here tonight. It's definitely an interesting racetrack we've been talking about, Kelly, but take us through this place. I mean, it's very flat. There's really one racing groove. It's on the bottom right by that yellow curb. Not much banking for these guys to fall on. That's why we see so much rooting and gouging.
Yeah, it's quite a far cry from the high banked oval that we were at 2 weeks ago at Talladega. I mean, the corners are banked here at only 12 degrees, and the straights are completely flat. They're 0 degrees of banking. So it's really more like 2 drag strips connected by corners than a normal oval. It's more similar to just drag racing. It's really going to come down to who can get the better power application coming out of the corner.
And it's all about that center drive off. Of course, Daniel Eberhardt knows how to get it done on the racetracks as well. Daniel, what is it going to take for some of these drivers to come out of here on top tonight, being what type of racetrack this is and how hard you got to get into those corners and brake and your braking points, and it's really a rhythm track.
Yeah, you got to be aggressive going in. You got to be able to dive bomb into the corner, and you got to be really aggressive. A lot of drivers aren't big fans of the dive bomb situations here, but that's what you have to do. You have to be really aggressive and you have to be able to roll the center here. And once you get the rolling the center good, then you got to get on the gas really hard to get off the exit. The truck's going to get light coming off the corners. That's one thing you're going to have to watch out for the rear end coming around here at Martinsville.
So a lot can happen, a lot of things, a handful for these drivers here tonight. 150 times around this half-mile circuit. And we'll get set to do that. But qualifying all said and done, 18 trucks ready to make the grid here tonight. So let's have at it. Let's take a look at the SegPay starting lineup for tonight's race. How about it? The 60 Byron Daly, one of the only drivers in that first 3 races of the chase to get a win to guarantee himself into this round. He sits tonight on the pole with a 20.327. Not too bad there with J.D. Laird. Great qualifying effort from him. He's going to start on the outside of row number 1. Alex Bergeron not in the chase, but he's going to have a good spot here to see these leaders to be in this race. He's going to roll off from that 3rd spot. 4th tonight goes to Bentley Glazer and E.J. O'Rourke, last week's winner at Talladega. He's going to roll off P5.
Right alongside him, the number 10 of Richard Beasley rolling off in 6th. 7th goes to Justin Weaver. 8th is Doy Woods. 9th goes to Tommy Ryan, and rounding out your top 10, the 16 of Alan Cryer.
Just missing the top 10 is 11th of Chad Coleman. 12th is Tyler Dalton in the 19 Havoline Chevy Silverado. 13th, Jake Simmons. 14th, Seth Foudy. And 15th is Paul Nicholas Cooper, the last guy to take a time. And then 16th, 17th, and 18th are all provisionals, and that is 16th, Stephen O'Rourke. 17th, Tyler King. And John Wilco round out your field 18th.
So 18 trucks set to make the run here tonight. We'll get 2 pace laps under the caution for these guys, or behind the pace car, I should say, at 45 miles an hour. And one of the cool places about this racetrack also is pit road. Pit road is basically almost the length of the track on the inside there, and very slow around this place. It's very easy to get a speeding penalty. Talk about that here, Kelly, of how hard, not so much getting onto pit road, but maintaining that speed and not going over it to get those penalties.
I believe this is the slowest pit road on the schedule for these guys, and it's only 35 miles an hour, so they'll be running about 150, 160, I'd say, down these straights, so they really got to get on the brakes and make sure they keep that under the 35 for the entire length.
Definitely something these guys will have to keep an eye on here tonight. But first round of the round of 8, the first race of the round of 8 is going to be what we have here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on these guys as they go. The pace car, though, going to make its way to the safety of pit road. It makes the entrance right there into turn number 3. And Byron Daly looking to get the green flag. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing at Martinsville. The round of 8, it's underway here tonight.
And Byron Daly will lead that field down to turn 1, but J.D. Laird not quite dropping back yet. He isn't going to get that optimal line, but Alex Bergeron will not be able to slip inside of him. So J.D. Laird dropping into 2nd, but Byron Daly, a great start from him. But here comes Alex Bergeron. Oh, getting into the back of J.D. Laird, and he's turned around, and there's probably a caution coming out right there.
So our first caution of the night coming on lap number 1 right there. Not even able to complete lap number 1. Turns 3 and 4. The big culprit of that one, Alex Bergeron, heavy into the corner. Didn't look like he had much of the braking help there. Had that truck rolling pretty good there. Got into the back of J.D. Laird. And then tried to check up to let him go. E.J. O'Rourke ends up around him. And just like Daniel, just like you talked about 8, 9 trucks right there involved in this one. Heavy damage for some.
Yep, and like I said earlier, Andy, it was going to take out, once you take out one, and definitely at the front of the field like that, there was nowhere for anybody to go. And after the wreck happened, it looked like J.D. Laird wanted to go back for more and got into the side of the 0-1 right there and then took out the 38 involved. You got to feel bad for the 38 of Justin Weaver right there with J.D. Laird's tempers flaring right there and turned the 0-1 of Alex Bergeron around in the middle of the field after the caution was out.
Well, that's one thing that can happen at a place like this. Short track racing at its best right there. Not happy at all. Takes out some retaliation. Spins him out there on the front stretch We'll see what will happen with that. Obviously, more damage to the trucks as is, but they'll come down pit road this time here, and we'll see what these guys can do as they head down pit road, and they'll try to get some of that damage fixed. Of course, our leaders, Byron Daly, Bentley Glazer, who was able to sneak through that. He'll be in that second spot. E.J. O'Rourke, some front-end damage, but we talk about damage at a place like this. The aerodynamics really don't come into effect at this place just because of the low speeds that these guys run. The one thing they really got to make sure they have here tonight, Kelly, is handling. And if they knock those cars out of tow, that's when they can be in for a long night.
Yeah, unlike last round where we were at Talladega and the aerodynamics played a huge factor, here it doesn't matter how much you bang up the bodywork as long as everything underneath is just fine. If you bend an axle just a little bit and that toe or the camber is out a bit, you won't be able to pull as much speed around the corners, and maybe you won't be able to put the power down out of the corners as well. So they can do a little bit of bumping and banging, but if they hit too hard and start really smashing up that truck, then they're going to have a problem.
They absolutely will. Some of the guys getting some pit road fixing done. They're out and away now. They'll be back towards the rear tail end of the field here for this restart here. It's a real quick one there. Lap number 1, we get our first caution of the night. Should get the one to go this time back. So we get set for this one, guys. You talk about these races and how important they are championship-wise. You look at guys like J.D. Laird, who came in to this, and he comes into the race. He's looking good. Great starting spot for him on the outside of the front row. Then gets involved in an accident just like that so early on in this race. That's why you saw the frustrations out of that driver, just knowing the fact that, that can hurt you. That can hurt you championship-wise and all that. And here we are in the first round of round number 2. And that's exactly why you saw the frustration right there. Byron Daly, though, looking to get the field back under the green flag. He rounds off a turn number 4, gets the green flag, and we're back underway. Pretty good start on the bottom side. How about E.J. O'Rourke? He's got a battle now for second with Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, Bentley not getting a great start there, and their trucks are really stacking up, nearly going 3 wide, but everyone's still able to filter through. And the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke, he's got a great battle going on with Bentley Glazer. Bentley's on that high side, and it's not where you want to be here. You really want to be on that low line. There's not much advantage, unlike some other tracks, of going on the high side. So there really is only one line around here, and that is the inside. But he is going to be able to get a bit of a better start. The E.J. O'Rourke's not going to be able to get the power down as much as the 36s because he can't track out all the way.
Yeah, you can't use the entire racetrack off of the corner, which is what you need to get the speed. That's why you see Bentley Glazer able to hang on to that outside right there. He gives it up going back into turn number 1. A pretty smart move when he knows he has the room to get down to the bottom there. So right in front of the 03 of Jake Simmons he goes, and we'll get these guys moving now single file as they make their way off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 9. Still some side-by-side action going a little further back through the field there. Tyler King in the 12 truck right now has had some side-by-side action going on with that 38 of Justin Weaver. Weaver able to get that spot. Now Chad Coleman looks to his inside with J.D. Laird and Seth Foudy now behind him.
Yeah, Tyler King's been stuck on the outside for about 4 laps now, and that's what happens here. You get caught up on the outside, you have nowhere to go, and he washes way up right there, misses the groove. That lets J.D. Laird get by, and he gets put in the wall by the 3 of Stephen O'Rourke. He's riding down the wall right now, down the front straightaway. Everybody gets by behind him. Looks like the 17 of Seth Foudy got into the rear of him right there. Now looking to Seth Foudy's inside is Richard Beasley up ahead of Tyler King.
Able to sort things out right there. We'll stay under the green flag conditions. We see Paul Cooper now riding up high off of turn number 4. Lets a couple drivers go, including Alex Berger on the 01 and that 38 of Justin Weaver as well. Gets into the corner again, up the racetrack. Allows the opens up the bottom side, I should say, for Chad Coleman. Here comes Coleman. J.D. Laird now looking to take advantage of that as well, as Paul Cooper, after starting 15th, had made his way up through. Because of that, in the 23, almost losing it off turn number 4. He'll be able to keep it straight. We'll stay under the green flag condition here, but that's going to be some more spots lost for J.D. Laird. So just getting the power off of the corner. We talked about it. Daniel did in the opening of this race. Getting the power on these trucks get awfully light coming off the corners. We saw that right there with the 23.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a happy driver behind the wheel there. He doesn't really have anyone to blame except himself, but hopefully he doesn't have too much damage to that truck, and hopefully he can kind of push that out of his mind. Because if you start thinking about those and start getting frustrated, you're going to start mashing that gas pedal coming out of the corners. That's really not what you want to do. You've got a lot of horsepower in these trucks, and there's We got a car spinning in front. Richard Beasley is around, and he's into the pit lane divider, but he's on the grass. There's no caution yet, and there it is now as he tries to come back on the track.
So our second caution of the night here on lap number 14. It's the 10 of Richard Beasley. He is shown right now as the last car on the lead lap in 15th now as they run. So Richard Beasley, cause of our second caution here on the night. Like I said, lap 15, and the field will now make their way to the pace car. And this is going to be an interesting thing when you get these cautions like this. 16 laps, Daniel. I'm not so sure that's enough laps really to give up the track position. We'll see if some of these guys decide to come in, but Byron Daly, one of those pro drivers, he's going to make the call to come down now, and that's going to allow everybody now to follow him down pit road, and everybody looking for some tires.
Yeah, everybody is looking for some tires, and that's an early pit stop like you said, Andy, but one thing about it is, I was going back to Richard Beasley right here and looking over his wreck. One thing the sim implemented this last build was that you can mess with the front bias, and what that will do is change your rear braking a lot. And maybe he had less front brake put in the car, or in the truck I might say, and that might send the rear end around. But EJ O'Rourke actually misses his pit stall. Bentley Glazer misses his. Now the 60's up on the jack right now on the right side. 23's coming into his pit stall, JD Laird. The 01's coming up on his left right now. Looks like Byron Daly's going to win this with ease. Then you got Jake Simmons, and then you got Doy Woods coming out third.
So first on, first off that took service is the 60 of Byron Daly. EJ O'Rourke decided to go through the pit stall. He'll stay out in first now, and so does Bentley Glazer. They'll stay out on the racetrack, so that'll change the running order up just a little bit up towards the front of the field. And kind of an interesting call, but at the same time, it's still early in this race for to start playing this track position game.
And you gotta wonder, maybe it wasn't really a mistake. Maybe he did kind of. Oh no, never mind. There they come down pit road now. So yeah, I guess they did make a mistake. I was looking too much into it. So yeah, the 41 and the 36 of EJ O'Rourke and Bentley Glazer are both coming down pit road to now take their service, and that's probably going to put them way back in the field.
Yeah, it's going to definitely put them to the back now here as we see the 3 of Stephen O'Rourke trying to get back on the lead lap. He'll take the wave around here, it looks like, when we get the 1 to go. So that'll put that 3 truck back on the lead lap. Give us 14 trucks on the lead lap. And we see the 41, the 36 coming down to get service in their trucks here early, and maybe staying out, getting a point, a bonus point for that lap led. Because, of course, we not only do we have this full season championship we're going for, we also have a segment championship going for. And currently, Bentley Glazer, top of the boards right now, 13 points coming into tonight over Chad Coleman. Alex Bergeron, 20 back in the 3rd spot. You got Justin Weaver, Richard Beasley, the top 5 in the segment standings for the segment championship as well. So a couple championships we got going on with these drivers out there. Not only the full season championship with the Chase, but they also have the Segment 2 championship they're going for as well. So we get set to get this one back underway. The field doubled up now on the back straightaway. Byron Daly again resumes the race lead. The pace car heads to pit road, and you got a long little wait around the turns number 3 and 4 until we say the green flag for the restart here. Off turn 4, Byron Daly mashes the gas. The green flag back out in the air. He'll get ahead of the 03 of Jake Simmons. Top 2 now, single file, Doy Woods. Him and Alan Cryer battle it out now off turn 2.
Jake Simmons wasted no time getting that low line. He knew exactly what he needed to do, and if he got stuck on that high side, he was just going to have the freight train roll on by him. And the 91 of Doy Woods nearly sliding up into that high line. You got to be careful. You want to go fast into these the entrance of the corners, but if you go too fast, as we've seen multiple times from drivers back in the field, you'll slide up and open up that bottom line. And the 38 now of Justin Weaver, he's looking for a way by, but I don't think he really wants to push this 3 wide.
Yeah, this is why starting on the outside, not the best of things here. As you see Alan Cryer, you see the 20 of Chad Coleman, as well as Alex Bergeron on the outside lane right now. And it's the freight train coming to the inside here, and it definitely takes advantage of that. Doy Woods slips up a little bit into turns 1 and 2 up the racetrack, just like Kelly had just mentioned. Opens up the bottom side. Here comes Justin Weaver now looking for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Justin Weaver down to the inside. That's going to bring Bentley Glazer to the inside of Doy Woods now. And looking back behind them, you got the 16 of Alan Cryer to the outside of Chad Coleman still. Up ahead of them, the 91 just gave it away right there, trying to give up a spot so he could get down to the bottom real quick. That's where the line's at tonight. You want to be right on the bottom. Maybe the more rubber they put down, you can move up to the middle groove and start rolling the middle a little bit more and diamond in the corner. But now everybody else is single file through the rest of the field.
And I'll tell you what, this new build that came out, the new track dynamics that we've seen come out, this build just 1 week ago, it's definitely already made a difference as far as the lines you run and how the rubber's built up onto the racetrack as well, too. So I think this new dynamic surface, I think they're going in the right direction as far as iRacing is concerned. It's definitely helped the racing out tremendously. We saw that last night in the Peak Antifreeze Series as well, too. We saw cars that were so fast to begin a race, but as that rubber went down, they were constantly chasing the setups all night long, trying to get back up to the front. So it made it pretty interesting, made for some great racing as well here. So top two right now starting to pull away. Byron Daly's got the lead. He's got about a half-second gap now between him and Jake Simmons in the 03. And then you got to go back about a second till you get back to Justin Weaver, Bentley Glazer, who've been going at it pretty good here over the last few laps. Bentley Glazer has been there, but not yet has looked to the inside.
No, Justin Weaver has been keeping that truck all the way down that yellow curbing there, so as long as he keeps running like that, it's going to be very difficult for Bentley to get by. He's really going to have to hope for a mistake from the 38. I mean, I'm sure he could just pull a bump and run, but I don't think you really want to do that on lap 28 of a 150-lap race. That's not really the way you're going to make friends around here, but I'm sure if it was later on in the race, you'd definitely push him out of the way.
Yeah, later in the race is definitely the best way to do it, because then there's no time for retaliation because the race is over. So that's exactly why you wait to the end there. Bentley Glazer doing what he can, though, doing a great job staying up there. How about the 01, Alex Bergeron, just getting around the 16 of Alan Cryer. He makes that pass, trying to work his way back up through the field after getting some damage fixed, being involved, the cause of the first caution on lap number 1. And we see him going at turn number 3, kind of hot into there, slides up the track just a bit, but not enough for Alan Cryer to battle back and take that spot. And in fact, he'll lose a couple lengths right there as they work their way back through turns 1 and 2 and head down the back straightaway. It was a pretty good battle just in front of these guys. E.J. O'Rourke trying to get back up through there. He's trying to work over that 20 right now of Chad Coleman, just not working just yet.
Yeah, the 41 got to Chad Coleman's rear bumper, and he came out of 1 and 2 right there. Got really loose. Now they head back into 1 and 2, out of 1 and 2 now. And it looks like the 41 is battling a little looseness coming out of the corner. Like I talked about earlier, you can get into the throttle a little bit heavier than you want to, and it makes the rear end and the rear tires come out from under you right there. Looking at it come out of 4 right there. The 41 does the same thing. Maybe he's heating up them rear tires a little bit too much, and it's going to be really hard. As you see up ahead of them, you got lap traffic. Tommy Ryan up there. Multiple laps down, 23 laps down at that. Doy Woods is going to look to his inside. Not right there, just a little bit farther than I thought. I thought the 91 was going to get there a little bit quicker, and it looks like the 99 is just down on power right now, Andy.
Yeah, it definitely looks as that right now. He, of course, involved in that first accident, heavy damage. He was actually smoking off of that one. That's why we see him down 23 laps at this point, but he's one of those guys in the chase. That's why you got to give him a lot of credit. Being back out there, just being patient, getting that truck fixed, get back out there, and hope that attrition comes into play here later on in this one. Right now, it looks like he might be able to get maybe one more spot as long as that 10 of Richard Beasley stays on pit road. That'll give him another point, which is an all-important point that he'll need as he chases down this championship and trying to get into the championship 4 here in a few weeks' time. So Bentley Glazer, he hasn't really caught up to that 38 just as of yet, but those two guys have actually been closing in on that 03 of Jake Simmons. Jake Simmons is kind of falling away from the leader. Byron Daly really showing the way right now. He's pushed that lead now up to a full second as they make their way through 3 and 4 once again. You can see that gap closing ever so quickly now as Justin Weaver looks for second.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Jake is getting all the way down to that inside as he needs to be. He's running a little high, and I think that's giving him a slight advantage to the 38, but the 38 seems to also be checking up in the middle of the corner, which just allows Bentley to get right onto his bumper, and if he's not careful, he's not paying attention, he could rear end that 38 and send him right around, but Bentley just hasn't been able to find that gap that he needs to get around Justin Weaver. He really, unless he can somehow push it off the outside or Justin makes a mistake and allows him to go on the inside through coming off of the corner, there's no way he can really get around until this track rubbers in a little bit more.
So a great battle going on for the second spot right now as they work their way off of turn number 4 here. The 03, Jake Simmons, he's had that spot since the drop of the green flag for this restart, and right now has come under fire from Justin Weaver. Weaver now off turn number 2. He's looking for some action here as those guys all battle it out as they all watch Byron Daly really pull away from the field right now. And everybody else behind him starting to check up just a little bit, watching Doy Woods kind of running a high line just like Jake Simmons is doing. So it's allowed those guys behind him, Chad Coleman, E.J. O'Rourke, to really pull back in as well, too. So we've got a couple of good little groups of cars, trucks, I should say, battling out here for positions as we work lap number 39.
Yeah, and still looking at the 0-3 of Jake Simmons right now. He's got the 38. Now finally getting up to his rear bumper. But as you see right there, the 38 gets loose off the corner. Looks like Bentley Glazer's starting to fade off a little bit too as the 38 drives it really deep down into turn 1 and 2 right there. Didn't really help him on exit. The 0-3 pulls out to about 2 more truck lengths right there. Now they head back into 3 and 4. And that's how quickly lap times go around this track. It's laps all, we're already on lap 40 right here. And the laps are clicking off really good right now, Andy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 20-second laps, that's what they put up in the qualifying effort right now, currently running 21 and change here around this racetrack. It doesn't take long for the laps start to tick away, and that's why we say 75 miles seems pretty short, but when you're talking 150 laps, it can add up pretty quickly. Now, we're working lap number 41 right now. Make that 42 as 41 goes into the books, and just gives us about 109 laps still left to go here in this one tonight. So there's still plenty of time for some of these guys that did have that problems early in this race to get those trucks fixed, get them fixed every time they make it down pit road. But we get the feel right now for a pretty long green flag run. Not that it's not typical at a Martinsville Speedway. It definitely can be once the cars get spread out like they are.
And I'm kind of glad that they are spread out like this. It's good to see a nice long green flag run instead of these little short sprints. It really can show who can deal with the fading grip on these tires better. So, I mean, once you're not really dealing with corner speed as much with these the tire wear, it's really more of the power application off the corners. Like you start overheating those tires, you start getting less grip off that rear end. And it's much easier to spin that thing around coming off, or even just taking it too lightly and not getting the power down off the corner.
Absolutely right. We're actually seeing that right now with that 38 of Justin Weaver. It seems every time he comes off the corner, he gains so much time entering the corner. Coming off that corner, that 03 able to pull away, because you can see it right there again off turn number 2, that 38 just getting a little bit loose, getting a little happy, getting under that throttle right there. And as these guys battle it out, Byron Daly just continues to start mowing them down here. He's up to 2.5 second lead now as they work their way back into turn number 1. That's not too shabby there for Byron Daly. Of course, we know he's pretty strong at these short tracks. A couple wins on the season now already for that 60 machine, and of course both of them coming late in the race at Milwaukee, and then 1 week later the first race of the chase at New Hampshire. So Byron Daly getting the job done here tonight as well, too. Looking for that victory, getting himself locked into Homestead here in a few weeks. So that's exactly what you need to do. Plenty of time, though, to get back this as we see the 10 peel off of pit road. So Richard Beasley back in the hunt right now. He has dropped that one spot to Tommy Ryan, so finds himself about 6 laps or so behind Tommy Ryan. So that is an important position that Tommy Ryan just got back there. It is
he
1
turned
point.
Alex Bergeron. Alex Bergeron's around, coming out of 4 right there. I think Richard Beasley was giving him a little bit of payback. I really disagree with it. I don't think the 0-1 did that intentional to J.D. Laird. He got into the gas a little bit too soon earlier in the race, and that was just kind of a dirty move right there by the 10 of Richard Beasley, and that's a good way to lose respect out here in the sim world.
Yeah, it is obviously coming off of pit road, fresh tires right there, but pretty much just drove the 01 right into the wall there off of turn number 4. So caution flag out once again. Number 3 on the night here so far, and we work closer and closer to lap number 50. The leaders, though, pit road's open. They're all heading that way right now. Byron Daly leading the show down pit road. Do we see anybody take a 2-tire stop here, Kelly, or is this still one of those places that the 4 tires is that much better? You're going to see the majority of your leaders get 4.
Well, I haven't been able to experience with this this new build yet and see how these things grip, but we'll have to see. These guys definitely have a lot more experience. They've had time to practice, and some of these guys may chance for that 2-tire spot just to get that track position. We know how important it is. Once you've got that position in front of the other driver, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get around these guys here. So if you can just get out in front, run your line properly, and keep it nice and low, you'll do just fine. And we see the 60 of Byron Daly easily getting off ahead, and followed by the 38. Justin Weaver, he's actually able to get out ahead of Jake Simmons, so he'll take over that second place. He wasn't able to get it done on the track, but he's got it.
Wow, interesting right there. Byron Daly coming off of pit road, trying to get back up to the pace car, and the 17 of Seth Fowdy was trying to come to the pit road and made a little bit of contact there. The right front, a little bit of damage for that 60 machine, but they'll get it all sorted right away. We're going to take a moment, step aside real quick. We'll be back here at Martinsville Speedway. It's a SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
Ready, aim, fire.
Welcome back here to Martinsville Speedway. LSRTV's continuing coverage of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series as we get set to get back underway and under the green flag. Byron Daly again trying to lead the field to the green flag. Justin Weaver looked like he jumped the start just a little bit. It's going to cost him a chance to get that second spot now as the 03 of Jake Simmons. He's going to battle him side by side off turn 2.
Yeah, he'll have to take over that third spot unless he can get it. He's still trying to fight it, though. He is still side by side and carried some great speed down the corner, but if he's not careful, that low line is going to sneak under him, and he looks like he carried a bit too much speed, so he is now going to drop back into that low line, and almost looked like he was going to go to the inside of the 03, but coming off that that last corner, see actually these trucks getting stacked up back there. A few people getting side by side and nearly getting into each other. And we got the 3s turned around. Stephen O'Rourke has been turned and he's facing the wrong way. His engine's blown, but for some reason the caution has not come. And there it is. There's a delayed yellow, but for the 3 of Stephen O'Rourke getting turned off of turn 2 and blowing his engine.
A tough break right there. He was to the inside of that 23 machine of J.D. Laird. Got on the power, but then it looks like made contact with the 23, and that was all she wrote. Went up the racetrack and across the front bumper of that 23 of J.D. Laird into the fence pretty hard. Smoking out of that engine. That's going to hurt him. Heavy damage for the 3 trucks. So the 4th caution of the night comes on lap number 55. Byron Daly continues to lead the way. Jake Simmons was able to get that second spot away after losing it on that last pit stop, so did a good job on the restart. Really took advantage of Justin Weaver kind of missing that one on there. So the leaders will actually stay out on this one. Not too surprised by that, just running about 1 lap under the green flag conditions. I was watching, though, Daniel, that 41 car, E.J. O'Rourke, driving on the outside with those fresh tires. He was making up quite a bit of ground there on that outside, especially in corner entry.
Yeah, you can early in a restart because everybody's checking up and the bottom line's just checking up. But as soon as you do that, you got to expect that the guys are going to start to get strung out a little bit, so you need to find your way back down to the bottom. You can do it for about the first 2 to 3 laps after a restart. Then after that, it's pretty much done with. You got to start making your way back down to the bottom, because if you stay up there too long, you're going to get ate up by everybody else on the inside and finally just fall back to where you restarted from.
So Seth Fowdy going to get the lucky dog right here. He'll get waved around the pace car, get himself back on the lead lap, and for him, that's going to put 14 trucks back on the lead lap for this one here, and it looks like the Tyler Dalton machine, the 19, will be the next car 1 lap down as we work our way through the corners here, and we talk about the championship run for these guys and what it all means to win the championship, a chase format, the pressure's on. We go to two short tracks really in this segment here. We got Martinsville and Phoenix. Then you got the very fast Texas Motor Speedway, the 1.5 miles. That one I expect to see some big players up towards the front. A lot of contention at Texas. But when you talk about these flat tracks and how well that 60 machine of Byron Daly has been on the flat tracks, especially over the last month and a half or so, with the 2 wins at Milwaukee and, of course, New Hampshire. And then now we are here tonight at Martinsville, seeing him dominate the way he is. Phoenix is another place like that with some flat tracks. It's going to be pretty interesting to see, to say the least, maybe for the other chase drivers, if they have anything for that 60 machine.
Yeah, he had to have definitely been grinning when he saw this this chase schedule, seeing that they had 2 short tracks in this round. So I'd say he's definitely a favorite to be in that championship 4 going to Homestead.
Definitely one of those guys that we'll keep an eye on for the championship here in 2016 SegPay Truck Series. Chase for the championship as it continues each and every week right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. We get a week off next week before we do head to Phoenix International Speedway for that race number 10, race number 10 in the season. So we look forward to all that, but first we got to get through this one here. 60 laps will go up on the board this time as the pace car gets off of and onto pit road, and we get set, and the green flag will wave. And what a great start once again for that 60 of Byron Daly. Jake Simmons also now off of turn number 2, got a great restart to get himself in that second spot. Justin Weaver now third. Side by side, though, for that 4th spot, Bentley Glazer has that position. Chad Coleman stuck to the outside.
Yeah, Chad Coleman's now stuck to the outside. You got the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke finally finding his way on the bottom. There, finally getting his way down to the bottom. Now you got Doy Woods looking to the inside of Chad Coleman. But the good thing is that you're going to see right here, Chad's going to get a little bit of a run right here. Maybe get down to the bottom. Nope, the 91 still stays side by side. Now they go through 3 and 4. Now you got J.D. Laird looking on right now and seeing that the 20 and the 91 are battling right now. And J.D.'s been, I think, in every caution except one tonight. So he's just trying to find his way up there in that beat and battered JDR Graphics Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, he's definitely, this is the point when it really tests you as a driver to see what kind of resilience you can have. And right now, J.D. Laird scored in the top 10, 8th right now on the board. Got an opportunity here with a smaller field, only 18 trucks, and of course 5 of them being off of the lead lap right now. J.D. Laird has a great opportunity to still come out of here, even though that incident that they had on lap number 1 has a great opportunity to come out with a good finish here tonight, which is much needed at a place like this, especially when you're going for that championship. Byron Daly, though, has made out to about almost a half-second lead now over Jake Simmons. Simmons hasn't let him get away just yet. Justin Weaver as well, along with Bentley Glazer, all right there battling for that second spot. It's a 3-way battle, so they worked their way through 3 and 4.
Oh, and it looked like the 38 of Weaver nearly got into the rear end of Simmons, and thankfully he was able to just slow it down enough. I think I heard some tires squeal, and that's not really something you want to happen. Like, the more you work these tires, the more they heat up. You may lose a bit of grip, but you're also going to wear them off a lot faster. So if you're not conservative with those tires, you're going to ease. Oh, and he nearly gets into him again. I think the 38 really wants that 3 to move, that 0-3 to move, and he's going to start using that chrome horn.
Yeah, 1 bump. Hey, I'm here. 2 bumps. I'm getting impatient. That 3rd bump's usually the one that really pushes you out of the way. So Jake Simmons trying to put some distance right now on the 3rd place machine right there, but you see Justin Weaver just so much better on corner entry. Almost gets there to the back bumper once again there. That's 36 of Bentley Glazer as well here as Byron Daly continues to stretch out the lead. Definitely 2 different scenarios here with the 03 and the 38. The 03, a little bit slower from entry to center, but then center off, that's where he gets the pull from the 38, and that's where he takes advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely, Andy. And this track's like that. The corners are so tight here, and the straightaways are, a decent straightaway to where you can get up to speed, and how the gearing ratios make the truck RPM out going onto the corner and hit the chip a little bit. So all it's doing is if you drive it in deep like the 38 is doing, it's going to hurt you on exit. But if you take it easy like the 03 is doing, the exit's going to be much better, and that's why you see him pull out to a couple truck lengths when he comes out of the corners, because the 03 is babying it into the corner and really gassing up out of the corner, and that's what's giving him the run off the corner.
That's definitely where you make up your speed as well, too, is definitely being faster, center off. That's where you're going to be faster than the guys that are behind you here in the race. So, as well, dear, the 03, as he continues to hang on to that spot, we look a little bit further back. Doy Woods doing a great job in this race here tonight, too. Right now, currently in that 6th spot. Started 8th, kind of fell back, was involved in that first wreck, but he's been very quietly staying right here around that top 5 mark. I wouldn't be surprised. Doy Woods got in the win early in the season. Not in the chase now, looking to play spoiler per se here, trying to steal some wins away from these guys. He did get a win. First race of the season, way back in February at Daytona. Looking for his second win of the season here. Chad Coleman right there in that mix as well, too. He's been one of those guys involved in a little bit of wreck as well. We got some action going on for that second spot, the 03 of Jake Simmons. He did get another bumper full right there from Justin Weaver that last time as they worked their way back into turn number 1 and 2. And I'm telling you, every time he gets closer and closer to that back bumper right in the center of the corner, that's almost where you don't want to get into the back of the guy, because the guy in front of you is probably right there getting onto the throttle. You get in the back of him, it's an easy spin.
And as you mentioned, you do want to be faster coming off that corner. There's a saying in racing, slow in, fast out. If you get that better acceleration, especially at this track, you want to be faster off that corner so you can... Oh, it looks like the 38 nearly gets into the lap car of the 99 of Tommy Ryan, but it's able to save it. But as I was saying, you want to be fast off this corner, because that's the opportunity the best opportunity you're gonna have for passing. If you're faster than that guy off the corner, you can duck to the inside, and that's really the only place where you can steal that inside line away. You're not going to steal it in the middle of the corner. And we've seen the 36 now getting into the rear bumper of Justin Weaver, giving him a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. He's getting a bit faster through the corners, and now we're also seeing E.J. O'Rourke. He's starting to get into this battle for second, as we have a 4-way battle going on now.
Yeah, E.J. O'Rourke doing a great job as the laps start to take away on the run. Those tires get a little bit more heat in them. You get a little bit more worn out, but that 41 starts to come alive towards the later stages of a run, and you can see that now. He was able to catch back up to these guys as they continue to accordion up right there in the center of the corner there, and it's a matter of time before one of these guys really gets a shot to him and ends up pushed up the racetrack and opens up that inside lane. So we'll keep an eye on these guys as they run. But with all this bumping that these guys are doing and how hard they're racing each other right now, it's actually allowing that 91 of Doy Woods to close in as well too. He finds himself just under a second back off the back bumper. These guys, as we see the 38 real loose off of turn number 4. It's going to open the inside up. How about Bentley Glazer going for third now in turns 1 and 2?
Yeah, and Bentley Glazer's going to clear him. That's going to leave the door open for E.J. O'Rourke to look down to the inside. Will the 38 get down and try to block? No, the 41 dives it off into 3 and 4 right there. Gets beside the 38 of Justin Weaver, and don't look too fast, Justin Weaver, because the 91's coming right now, and that's going to allow the 91 with these guys battle, and the 38 better move back into line right here, and that's exactly what he does. He falls right in behind E.J. O'Rourke. Then you got Justin Weaver and then Doy Woods and Chad Coleman. And now it looks like Justin Weaver's going to look back to the inside in 3 and 4, make EJ overdrive the corner. He gets loose right there in the center of the corner, but still gets to drive off the exit.
I think the 41 saw that coming right there, really dove it into turn number 1. Said, no, I want to keep this position for now. We'll see what happens after that, but a great job by E.J. O'Rourke to hang on to that spot. Bentley Glazer now has his opportunity at Jake Simmons in that 03 truck. He's right there on the back bumper, almost gives him a shot there in 3 and 4. He's going to stick with him, though, off of turn number 4, so we'll see if that 36 can maybe solve the riddle of Jake Simmons and get into that second spot as Byron Daly continues to pull away. Now 1.8 seconds off of these guys, but it's been such a fun little event. A few cautions early on in this one, about four to be exact here. Some big jumbles up, especially that first one on turn number 4. On that first lap, we had about 10 trucks involved in that accident. Some heavy damage for some of those guys, and it's just been it's been kind of a wild start to this one here tonight. But we have reached that halfway point, and as we cross that point, as we're a little bit past that, let's take a look at our iRacing Midway Race Break, of course, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier online racing game with professionally organized racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and much, much more. Byron Daly continues to lead 1.7 seconds now over Jake Simmons. Bentley Glazer rounds out the top 3. E.J. O'Rourke currently in that 4th spot. Justin Weaver has settled into spot number 5. Right now, currently in that 6th spot, we got Doy Woods. Chad Coleman runs 7th, 8th to J.D. Laird. The 9th spot goes to Alan Cryer, and Alex Bergeron rounds out your top 10.
At 11th, we now have Seth Foudy, who's able to just get around the Paul Nicholas Cooper, putting him down to 12th. 13th, the last car on the lead lap is the 12th of Tyler King. 2 laps down, we see Tyler Dalton. He will be the lucky dog next time around. Stephen O'Rourke is 19 laps down in 15th. 16th is Tommy Ryan. 17th, Richard Beasley. And rounding out the field is the 62 of John Wilco.
So that has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. You can use the LSRTV promo code by entering PR-2016 LSRTV when you register for a new iRacing membership. You get the late model free of charge along with the 13 cars, 14 tracks that are included with a first-time subscription. Again, that's PR-2016 LSRTV for new members only. So we're past that halfway point. Pretty good battle going on for that second spot now. Bentley Glazer, he's on that back bumper now. Jake Simmons, he's looking for it back into 3.
And Jake Simmons is pushing as hard as he can, but he's getting almost a little loose off these corners a couple times. If he's not careful, the 36 could get his nose in and possibly even turn him. You're seeing him get really close in the corner, just like Justin Weaver was in the middle of the corner. But you see, he nearly gets into him again. And that's the thing. You think about it as almost tailgating on a highway. That guy in front of you checks up when you're not really expecting it. You can easily rear end him. And with that point in the corner, as Andy mentioned earlier, he's getting on the throttle. He's actually bumped him again. I'm surprised the 03 is hanging on right now.
Yeah, and that bump going on, it opened up the door for E.J. O'Rourke to try to dive it in there. He's actually going to dirt track it through turns 1 and 2. It's going to allow Bentley Glazer for the time being to hang on to that lap. So E.J. O'Rourke pushing the envelope there. Saw an opening, wanted to jump all over it. Not going to be able to capitalize, though. This time he'll fall back in line in that 4th spot here as they continue a pretty good battle for that second spot. Back into turn number 3. Lap 91 going up on the board right here. Just 60 laps left to go here tonight from Martinsville. We'll take this time to step aside. We'll go LSRTV nonstop here so you don't miss a moment of the action, and a whole lot of action going on right now for that battle for the second spot. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. Welcome you back here to Martinsville Speedway. It's the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series Chase for the Championship 2016. And And how about SegPay? For over 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions for merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in card-not-present transactions and have a strong relationship with acquiring banks and with credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. And, of course, SegPay, the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series. Garrett Smithley Racing, the proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley in the number 0. JD Motorsports, Chevy Camaro, you can see each and every week in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Byron Daly continuing to pull away from the field right now. 4.1 seconds now over Bentley Glazer, who rides comfortably right now in that second spot. E.J. O'Rourke just about a second right behind him. Then you got Justin Weaver, who lost that third spot there to these guys. You got to also look back to Jake Simmons now, who rides in the 5th spot, who was riding second until Bentley Glazer was able to take that spot away. It opened the floodgates on the bottom side, and that's why he lost a couple more positions. He finds himself now in a pretty good battle with that 20 machine, Chad Coleman. Chad Coleman very quietly from 11th up to 6th now, looking for a 5th.
And it looks like he just got a little too fast into that corner. He was able to gather it back up. He almost got a little sideways, but he still was able to get some good speed off that corner and didn't lose too much ground to the 0-3, who definitely probably isn't too happy with himself after overdriving and opening that inside line. I mean, there were so many trucks stacked up behind him that as soon as he went high, there was no chance for him to get back down. Suddenly just 3 guys were flying past. Oh, he gets real sideways off the corner, and the 20 has nowhere to go, so he has to check up, and that kills his chance of making a move, but he's still going to be able to get a nose in, and yeah, he's actually going to be able to make an attempt at this pass, and will probably get it unless that 0-3 can get a great launch off this corner. He's still got his nose halfway up to the inside, but he's not going to be able to hold on that well in the corner. The 20's got that preferred line. He gets a great launch off the turn number 4.
Yeah, great job by that 20 machine, Chad Coleman, now to get up into the top 5 here. And finds himself now trying to chase down Justin Weaver, who sits about 2 seconds ahead of him right now. The 03 really starting to struggle with handling now. Doy Woods to the inside in 3 and 4. He's looking for that spot. He wants to take 6th away. So it's very Daniel as a driver, knowing that you had a pretty fast race truck. You're up there in that 2nd spot. You're running really well. You're not able to catch the leader as of right now, but now you find yourself that one little slip up, that one mistake. Now you find yourself battling so hard to just try to stay in the top 10. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, and as you see, the JD Laird machine passes the 0-3 right there, so that puts the 0-3 back to 8th. Yeah, it's one of them situations, Andy, where you just got to regroup. You know you burnt your stuff up, and you know that you're going to have a caution come out because you're probably not going to pit. I think they can go the rest of the way here. So it's going to be one of them situations where 0-3 he made his bed, you know. He's burned up his stuff, and he's going to have to just live with it for the rest of the race and try to hope for a caution.
Hope for a caution is what he's going to need. Get some fresh tires back on that machine. Pretty good battle going on for 3rd right now. E.J. O'Rourke has kind of fallen way further back from this 36 of Bentley Glazer. Now finds himself under some pressure from Justin Weaver. Justin Weaver, who had slipped up a little bit, lost a couple spots, and now he finds himself trying to get back into the top 3 here. He's going to look for it again. Turns 1 and 2, gets right up to that back bumper. Not able to pull him off of the corner, though. It's still one truck separating those 2 guys as they continue to battle into turn 3.
Yeah, 38, he showed some pressure to the 0-3 earlier, and he's really fast through that middle of the corner, as he's mentioned many times tonight, but the 41's getting that better launch off the corner, and it's really something the 38 really needs to adjust to. He needs to get that better launch, and he's kind of got one there. He definitely kept that gap a bit closer, but it's still not quite enough for him to get around him. But if he can get himself into the rear view mirror of that 41 truck, maybe he'll pressure him just a little bit into making a mistake. But at the same time, he has to make sure he doesn't push himself too hard, as we kind of saw a little bit of a bobble coming off that last corner.
Yeah, we definitely did. Tires getting worn on these trucks, going to make them a little slicker to drive. Plus, with the fact with the dynamic tracks, you can see in the broadcast how much darker the corners have gotten on that concrete surface. They're almost to the point where they're black, and the marbles have picked up tremendously on the outside. So this is one of the times or the point in the race here you don't want to get bumped up to that higher groove. You get up in that higher groove, you get up into those marbles, you get all that stuff on your tires. It'll be a handful for you, Daniel, and you know this as a driver. You don't want that to come under fruition, and that's going to make it difficult to get the speed back.
Yeah, and definitely if you're picking up marbles on your tires, that's going to make it real ill handling too. Getting them little suckers on there just make it make it hard and tough to get back into the throttle. But as you can look, the battle for battle for third is still on. The 38 drives it way deep off into 3 and 4 right there. Looks right to the bumper of the 41 off the exit, but like we've been saying all race long, the 38 just drives it way deep into the corner, and it's killing him on exit.
Yeah, it's killing him on exit, but he's doing a great job, able to keep it down on the curbing right there. Justin Weaver, that GameStop Toyota, doing a great job tonight here. Gets all the way to that back bumper in turns 3 and 4 there. E.J. O'Rourke doing a great job, though, hanging on to that spot here. He'll pull him away at least a truck length now back into turn number 1, and this is probably the best battle we got going on the racetrack right now with these two drivers trying to get that third and final podium position on the night. Because this time by, guys, just 35 laps left to go here at Martinsville.
And I know we haven't mentioned him too much. I mean, we do the passing comment, but Byron Daly, I think he's up to a 6-second lead right now, and that is just unreal when you're talking about racing on an oval like this. It's almost like he's in a different kind of vehicle right now, because he's running so much faster than everyone else. I mean, his laps are 21.6, while Bentley Glazer's running a 21.7, and that's for him Bentley having a good lap, and for Byron not having the best lap in these little runs. So it's just something else to watch him drive on these short tracks. He's definitely a lot better on these flat tracks, and he's shown it in these past couple weeks. I mean, he showed it also in New Hampshire at the first race of the previous round of the chase. He easily ran away with that win as well.
Yeah, definitely one of his specialties, the flat tracks, and he's getting the job done right now in that Chevy Silverado, and it looks pretty clean as well, too. No heavy damage at all as he works his way, or tries to work his way around some more lap traffic. Just got around Paul Cooper, now looking to get around that 17 machine, Seth Foudy, Alan Cryer, both those drivers. It's going to be tough to get around them because, I mean, those guys right there themselves, they're battling for position as well, too, as Seth Foudy moves up the racetrack, says, just go ahead, guy. I'll get back at him in a minute here. But, those guys are battling for position. Seth Foudy just went a lap down, but he's in 10th here tonight, having a decent run, even though all that damage and the accidents that he was involved in.
Yeah, and you got to think also, I mean, really, Byron may be in a different zip code right now, but the thing about it is we had one wreck that happened at the beginning of the race that just took out pretty much the entire field. And the 16 got into the wall right there, trying to give Byron Daly some room. They gave the 16 over drives the corner trying to get back in front of the 17. Oh, the 16 gets loose. The 17 almost got into him off of exit of 4 right there. 17's going to dive bomb him off into 1 and 2 and slammed on the brakes, hits the curb, and that's going to allow the 21 and the 01 to get right back up to the 17.
Yeah, locks him up getting into turn number 1. Seth Foudy, a lot of smoke coming from that left front tire right there, and I tell you what, you may be a lap down now, but you're still battling hard for that 9th position right now on the racetrack, and it shows you that the drivers, you get strapped into these vehicles. It doesn't matter what position you're in. If there's a car or a truck in front of you that's 4th position, you're going to do what you can to get ahead of them. It doesn't matter what place it is. It could be for 30th or last on the racetrack. You're still going to drive really hard. Oh, it almost gets to the back bumper again. Seth Foudy, he's all over him right now, trying to get that one more spot before this thing's over.
And he's just pushing as hard as he can, and if he's not careful, he's going to turn that truck right around. He's getting very loose. It's giving that extra work on the tires, definitely heating them up and burning them off. So it's really just a slippery slope. As soon as you start sliding, you're going to start sliding even more as you really take off all the rubber on those tires. And these guys are also having dealing with this new surface model. The track's rubbering it a lot more, and I'm actually kind of glad that we're at this track. I mean, how light the concrete is here really shows how much this track is rubbering in. You can see it all the way from the braking point down into the corners. The track started pretty gray, and now it's turning really dark now.
Yeah, put another 10, 12, 15 trucks out there. It'd be 10 times worse as well, too. So maybe some of these guys pretty happy that the field's only 18 trucks here tonight. Back up towards the front, though, E.J. O'Rourke still trying to hang on to that 3rd spot. Justin Weaver, he's been trying to get it away from him probably for the last 50 laps or so. At least it feels that way, as we're going to get 25 to go this time by for Byron Daly, continuing to pull away 5.7 seconds over Bentley Glazer. I'll tell you what, though, Bentley Glazer, what a showing for that driver. Had an opportunity to win segment number 1 this season. Came up just a few spots short to J.D. Laird for that segment 1 championship. He's had a pretty quiet second round, but at the time when the chase comes around, the consistent finishes continue to pile up for that 36 machine. He's doing it here tonight with a comfortable second and a half lead right now, or gap, I should say, back to that 41 E.J. O'Rourke, who's finding himself with a handful here. As Justin Weaver got into him last time in 3 and 4, and now off turn 2 continues to close that gap down.
When does the patience run out for Justin Weaver? You know, it's you
Lap
get
149.
You get tired of just riding behind somebody, and it sickens you because this track's so hard to pass because it's pretty much an equal track when you get into the throttle, whether you drive it in deep or not. But the thing is about driving it in deep, you got to give it a whole lot more brake, and that's just going to slow your momentum through the corner down. That's what the 41's carrying, a whole lot more momentum than the 38. 38's having to slam the brake in the center of the corner, and that's what's making the car get off the corner so ugly looking, like loose every time he gets off the corner, and the 41 just has good drive off, and that's what's keeping the 38. But I'm telling you, the 38's really driving in deep. It's almost time for the chrome horn to come into play here at Martinsville.
I'll tell you, Justin Weaver's going to have gmercer.com embedded into his mind tonight when he goes to bed, because that's all he's been looking at for the last half of this race right now. And if he doesn't go visit the website, then I guess the sponsor having it painted on the car, it isn't working for him. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard not to type that up for you when you're sitting there staring at it all race long right now, as these guys just continue to put the fight on for that third and final podium position here. Justin Weaver doing a great job here off of turn number 4, still trying everything impossible he can with 20 laps to go to try to get that spot, and it's just getting closer and closer to that point where eventually I think he's going to get into that back bumper whether he wants to or not.
Well, I mean, it's short track racing, and it's not the cleanest way to pass, but here, when you're racing for a podium like this, and
it's acceptable.
Yeah, it's kind of acceptable. I mean, I wouldn't be happy if I was in the 41's shoes, but I know if I'm sure if I was in the 38's shoes right now, I'd probably do it. It's just the way it's going to be here, and you're racing for a really good finishing position. You're racing for points, and even if you're not in the chase, it still feels good to be finishing up so high. But he's definitely going to make an attempt, I'm sure.
Yeah, and while these guys are battling hard, they're actually closing the ground up on that 36 machine of Bentley Glazer. They put it down under a second here now to the back bumper of Bentley Glazer. So this just might be a pretty good battle here for the second spot here before this thing's all said and done. 7.6 seconds, though, the gap that Byron Daly has on the rest of the field right now. At this point, even if there was a caution and another restart, I really think that 60 truck just too tough for these guys here tonight at this flat track. As we watch him, he got on the curb a little bit there in 3 and 4, but it doesn't look like it upset the handling at all here. He'll come across the line. We'll start lap number 135. Getting closer and closer to the finish of this one, just 15 laps next time by.
Has Byron Daly led every lap tonight, Andy?
Except for maybe 1 or 2 under caution.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like the Martin Truex Jr. way of saying, hey, guys, I'm wanting to go to Homestead, you know, doing what the Martin Truex Jr. machine did at Charlotte this season in real life. And he's put on a show tonight, and he's put on a show every week on these flat tracks like New Hampshire. He's been there, and I guess, I mean, when you have a track or a track surface or the way the track's laid out, if you're good at it, then everywhere you go connects to that track, every track that it looks like or just has the flatness to it, like Milwaukee and New Hampshire, like Martinsville. They're just great tracks for somebody, and a lot of people, that's what people don't understand, is that when you're in sim racing, usually if you're good at Texas, you're going to be good at Atlanta or Charlotte, tracks that look alike, and Byron Daly's really showing that fact right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. Flat track's the way to get it done for that 60 machine. It has been all season long. He's got one more on the schedule with Phoenix coming up here in a couple weeks' time. We get a week off after tonight's race before these guys get back at it to continue the fight for this championship. So a week off next Wednesday night, and then we get right back at it at Phoenix International Raceway. So right here on LSRTV and on iRacing live. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this as it continues on, but an 8-second gap right now all the way back to Bentley Glazer. E.J. O'Rourke, though, has caught up pretty close to that back bumper. It's under a second now of that 36 machine. Problem now is he's running out of laps, 11 to go this time.
What I think is even more important is that he's opened up a bit of a gap to Justin Weaver, so he doesn't have to worry that much more about the about the bump and run. He can focus now completely on catching up to Bentley Glazer and maybe doing a bump and run to him. So the 41 actually running wide in that corner. That's probably not the fastest way around this track, and he's got to be careful. If he runs up too high, as we talked about the marbles, he can collect some of those on the tires, and that's really going to kill all of his grip.
Yeah, definitely going to kill all the grip right there. Still trying to close the gap, though, on that second spot is E.J. O'Rourke. After that win last week, you got to figure that the momentum, I guess, for the momentum for the having a win like you got last week, it really carries over for a lot of these drivers. Just knowing you have that good run, and for some drivers they can keep it going for weeks on end. Other drivers, having bad luck week after week after week. When you get that good run, you get that win like EJ did last week. It really it puts a little pep in your step. Even though the tracks are totally different from what we ran last week to what we have here tonight, he's putting on a great show and having a great run. Right now in that third spot, trying to get second before this thing's all said and done. Come in, and just 8 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, 8 laps to go, and it looks like the 41's actually going to catch the 36. I think the 36 gave up a lot on his tire, and the 16 right here ahead of him is lap traffic, and that's going to really hold up the 36. The 36 pushes way up the track. That's going to let EJ get right to the rear bumper of the 36 right there of Bentley Glazer. And then your 38 on Justin Weaver's way back there. Maybe he can get a chance to get up here and try to get second as EJ gives the bump to the 36 as 36 gets loose right there coming out of 2. Now they race back into 3 and 4. Looks like EJ is going to look back down to the inside, and the 36 puts up the block, but the 36 goes way up the track, gets loose, kind of dirt tracking it right there. That's going to allow the door to be open for the 41 down the first straightaway as the 36 hits the outside wall.
Wow, what a move. Both of the drivers diving it hard into turn 3. Bentley Glazer just too high on the racetrack, though. B.J. O'Rourke able to take advantage of it. Gets that second spot before this thing's all said and done. They're going to get 5 to go this time by, but I don't think they're done yet. Bentley Glazer all over the back bumper off turn 4.
Yeah, and Bentley Glazer's also got to worry about Justin Weaver. As those two were fighting, Justin was able to close that gap. So now we've got just about a 3-truck race going on here, but Justin's starting to drop back a little bit. It looks like he's not quite getting that power down as well as he wants to off that corner, but he's still got that lot of speed through the middle, but he's carrying just a bit too much. It looks like he swung a little wide there, but E.J. O'Rourke definitely going to be a lot happier now that he's made these passes and he's put himself into that clean air now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bentley Glazer not giving up just yet. Justin Weaver as well right there, trying to put up a fight here before this thing's all said and done. And why these guys do this, we can't forget about Byron Daly right now. A 10-second gap he's got on the rest of the field right now, working his way around some lap traffic. The 91 of Doy Woods sitting in that 8th spot will actually let him go going into the corner right there, but still it looks like that 91 struggling with the handling. It's going to keep that bottom side open, but the Byron Daly not having nothing of it here. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, it's 2 laps to go, and I'm still looking at the 38 and 36. I believe the 38's really going to give Bentley Glazer the bump right here. You got to be looking at the chase points right now. If he gives him the bump, that's going to put him into the top 4 going into Homestead for right now. You know, you still got 2 races left in this round, but the white flag actually flies for Byron Daly.
Now the white flag in the air. He works his way through turns 1 and 2. Makes his way around that 91 machine of Doy Woods. Clear sailing, though, for that 60 machine. Byron Daly, a comfortable lead here. It looks like he's going to let that 91 finish on the lead lap here as he works his way off turn 4 for the final time. 3rd win on the season, and it's all come in the last month and a half. Byron Daly back to victory lane here at ASCORS.
And now running out the field will be the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. He is able to hold off the 36 and the 38. So our top 4 will be Byron Daly, E.J. O'Rourke, Bentley Glazer, and Justin Weaver. Those, especially those last 3 there, had a great battle throughout this entire final run of this race.
Yeah, it was an absolute phenomenal run there for most of these guys towards the end of this race here. Green flag for a long time for these guys here in this race. It was great to see after a slow start in this one here. Chad Coleman, another good shout out for that driver, coming home in the 5th spot here tonight. So a top 5 for him. JD Laird, how about the rebound for him? Able to finish in that 2nd spot after the tough break he had, being involved in that accident way back on lap number 1. So as he burns them down on the front straightaway, Byron Daly, we'll talk to him, the rest of the top 3 in just a moment. It's the LSRTV post-race show right here on iRacing Live.
and fire.
You know, the straights are unbelievably long. The first time you come here, everyone tells you, you know, you'll be flat out sixth gear for 20 seconds. First time I was here, I lifted halfway down the straight. I didn't believe that it was still going. I was waiting to brake and I was back on the power. And the Porsche curves are extremely fast and extremely narrow, so it's a tricky track. And, you know, every year I've come here, you learn something new every time.
Le Mans is so fast. Wherever you accelerate, you are over 150 miles per hour. Going there, I realized everything you have done before was nothing.
Take it from the top.
Okay, cool. I've got this time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that the next round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing.com. Sorry, I keep on messing that one up. Why are you changing name all the time?
Just do it one more time. Do it one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the next round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing, will take place on Tuesday from 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch it on iRacing Live. Join Evan and the gang for what will hopefully be another fantastic race. Some of the best sim racing you'll ever see on the internet. Better?
Good, perfect. Nice.
Cool. He's typing. He's typing. He's got it. He's got it. It's a new line of code. Okay. Sorry.
Welcome you back here to Martinsville Speedway, the conclusion of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. 150 laps, he gets it done. Byron Daly leads them all but 2 laps, I believe. 148 leads them all, and he comes home with the win here tonight. His 3rd win on the season, his 3rd win at a flat track as well. We'll talk to him in just a moment. EJ O'Rourke came home in the 2nd spot. Bentley Glazer rounds out our podium in the 3rd spot. 4th goes to Justin Weaver. Chad Coleman will round out your top 5. 6th tonight, JD Laird, a good rebound after that lap 1 accident he was involved in. Jake Simmons had a great run here tonight. From 13th, was all the way up in that 2nd spot for a long time, but he's going to end up finishing 7th here tonight. Dory Woods will be the last truck on the lead lap in 8th. 9th, 1 lap down. That'll go to the 16 of Alan Cryer. Paul Cooper will finish 10th.
Seth Fody comes home in 11th. 12th goes to the 12 of Tyler King. Tyler Dalton finishes 13th. Alex Bergeron finishes 14th after qualifying 3rd, just getting involved in a couple wrecks, which really put a hamper on his night. 15th goes to the 99 of Tommy Ryan, also in a similar boat, getting involved in a couple early wrecks. 16th is Stephen O'Rourke. 17th is Richard Beasley, and rounding out your field in 18th, John Wilco.
That has been your full field rundown presented by ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, and It's that time to head to Victory Lane. I've caught up now with our winner here tonight. Byron Daly gets the job done in dominating fashion once again at a flat track. How about it, Byron? How's this to get you locked into that championship round here in a few weeks?
Yeah, it was good to get that out of the way because I needed it last round with how I missed a race because just, stuff in real life, and then Talladega was Talladega, so I figured I should go into this one and get it out of the way again real early just in case stuff happens again.
I'll tell you what, it kind of, I wouldn't say a slow start for you, but no trips to Victory Lane at all during the regular part or the first part of this season in segment 1. You come into segment 2, the runs start to pick up, the good finishes start to really come for you. All of a sudden, Victory Lane shows up. The last race before the chase at the flat track of Milwaukee, you get the win there, pretty dominating fashion as well. And then you dominate again the first race of the chase at the flat New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Well, New Hampshire's basically Martinsville on steroids. What is it with flat tracks for you this season?
See, I've always liked them. I don't know. Nobody else likes them, so nobody ever runs them. So it's fun to get to run those kind of tracks every once in a while. And yeah, I've just always been decent at them. And the beginning of the season we had some bad luck. Just I wasn't really in the game, put it that way. And I had some stuff that I got corrected during the year, and the field's a little different than it was at the beginning of the year too, so it's just one of those things.
Well, when it matters the most, you come home with the victory again. This is 3 wins now for you, basically in the last 5 weeks. So really pouring it on when it matters the most for you. We got another flat track in this little segment going to Phoenix. A little bit fast, a little bit different. There's some more banking, but it's still relatively a flat track, especially turns 3 and 4. Obviously, the way you've been running at them over the last month or so, you got to say that you're looking forward to Phoenix as well.
Yeah, I think Phoenix will be a fun one. It's always interesting with that, dog leg down the back. Things usually can happen there, and it's I'm interested to see how the track will rubber up too. Last time I raced there was, I think, a Pro Series race last winter, and the track rubbered up pretty cool. You could run the outside in 3 and 4, and it was very interesting. So looking forward to that one. I will say it's not like one of my really good flat tracks, but I think I do okay there, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, the new dynamic track that they've put out over the last week or so here, it's made things a little bit different out on the racetrack, and I think this is the first race I broadcast at Martinsville since that one came out, and I'll tell you what, I saw a lot of rubber bouncing around all over the place. Did it make a real big difference for you guys as a driver out on the racetrack, or as long as you stayed in that bottom groove, you were all right?
It made actually a decent difference because for the most part where I was, catching guys, if they pull up and, try to let you by, they knock a whole bunch of stuff on the racetrack, and, you'd feel it every once in a while. You clip the apron a little bit, get a little grass on the tires, stuff like that. It's not, you don't have to drive up into the grass to get it. It's just if other people have done it before, it sits on there and it gets on your tires. It's actually pretty fun. So I've really enjoyed what they've done with the dynamic track. It's really added an element to the racing that wasn't there in years previous. And yeah, there's just more to look forward to as we go to some of these other racetracks. Like, I would love to race Chicago again on what they've done with it and places like that. So it's definitely a ton of fun and a challenge. For sure.
That definitely is, and I guess a step in the right direction as far as that's concerned, and I'm sure the dirt tracks coming has a lot to do with that, so thank you, Dirt, for making the ovals a little bit different, a little bit better. But Byron, you get the win here tonight, dominating fashion. Sponsor shout-outs, who helps you get it done?
Yeah, just got like Focus 7. You can see them on Amazon. They're a friend of mine's company that helps me out. It's cool deal there. You guys are putting on the broadcast, ASCORS are putting on the races. It's fun to get the league race. I can't league race everywhere for different rules packages that are out there. So it's fun to get to have some just to relax and not worry about a lot of the other stuff you got to worry about when you go race these official races or peak or what's not. So it's just fun to do that. So just thanks to you guys for making it, a little bit more entertaining.
Well, we appreciate that, Byron, and congratulations again on the win. We look forward to seeing you at Texas in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Byron Daly picks up the win here tonight, a dominating win here. But how about the 41? E.J. O'Rourke, a good qualifying effort, caught up in that wreck, fell back deep into the field, but Kelly's caught up with him. Second place finish, not too shabby for the driver of the number 41.
Yeah, I'm down here caught up with the driver of the number 41, Gary Mercer Trucking Toyota. So E.J. O'Rourke, we saw this track. It seems like very difficult to pass. What was your strategy as you tried to make it around these other trucks?
Well, basically, you had to use the U.S. chrome horn on the boys in front of you to be able to get around there. But holy cow, that was a lot of fun. I don't know how I didn't die. That was a long run at the end.
Yeah, as I saw from my camera, I really got to watch the track really rubber in. And now that I'm still looking at the track here and I'm able to get a bit of a closer view, I'm seeing these marbles absolutely everywhere. I mean, and this is a new build that just came out, so you guys didn't have too much time to adapt to it. So, how did the track really feel to you guys out there?
Well, the track felt pretty good. My computer is a potato, so I can't really see all those marbles. But I was able to drive it just off the guys in front of me, basically. And I was running second to Byron in the beginning, and I just screwed up and missed my pit stall, and I go to the back. So I don't think I would have had anything for Byron anyway. But P2's really good after winning last week, and a P2 this week, so I'm pretty happy.
Well, you're not quite in the chase, but you still are able to make some races here. How do you feel going into Texas and Phoenix in these coming weeks?
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap, huh? No, that's my own fault. Texas is a great track. Hopefully the groove against the wall is a little bit better, and the multi-groove racing has improved a little bit on the iRacing service. So we'll see. I don't think I'll win Texas. It's not one of my better tracks, but you never know. I didn't think I was going to finish second here, so...
Well, you definitely had a good run tonight, running up all the way up to second place after falling back, as you mentioned, after a little pit stop mistake. Who would you like to thank for this good run tonight?
Well, this Gary Mercer Trucking, Papa's Hot Rod Toyota Camry, or whatever it is. The Toyota truck. Yeah, there we go. It drove really good. Got to thank ASCORS and J.D. Laird and Brian Schoenburg and Garrett Smithley for putting on the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. Of course, you guys all here at LSRTV for broadcasting every week. I love going back and watching it. It's really, really cool. I don't know, just everyone for watching and coming every week, and I really enjoy racing here.
Yeah, it was a good run you had tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back again at Texas. Hopefully you can get back up here in the top 3, and one of us will be able to talk to you again there.
That sounds like a great plan. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good night, EJ.
You too.
All right, I believe we now have Daniel. He's caught up with our third-place finisher of Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trackside with Bentley Glazer, third-place driver tonight, and... Bentley, you were running second there, and it looked like your truck just started going away. Was it the rear tires going away, or was it just that you were saving a little bit, or what was it going on at the last few laps of the race there?
Well, I really hurt my tires trying to get around Justin and Jake there at the start. And then once I got by Jake, I thought, I could keep second. And it really started when I missed the pit stall at the beginning of the race. 'Cause I think if, me and EJ were right behind Byron there, and I think we could have saved our stuff a little bit and maybe kept up. But it was a really fun race for second with EJ and Justin. And yeah, EJ started coming up on me, and I started overdriving, and my tires were shot. I was sideways every corner.
Yeah, it looked like everybody was... getting off the corners a little bit sideways. It looked like the rear grip was at a minimum tonight, and with all the marbles on the track and everything, could you feel that in the steering wheel and everything? Could you feel like everything you're picking up on the track tonight?
Not really, but if you do, slide out of the groove, there's no grip up there, and it's because of the marbles. You can hear them kick off the tires and stuff and hit cars. It's fun.
Well, Bentley, with that third place finish tonight, you are going to be seated second for right now, and it's the first race of this round, and you still have Texas and Phoenix. But how do you feel going into Texas? Do you think you can stay up in this top 4 and go on to Homestead?
Yeah, I like Texas a lot, so that one should be good. Phoenix is alright. I'm decent there, but I'm getting better. I had pedal problems the whole time, and I was really struggling. I couldn't figure out why, and just my pedal it wouldn't calibrate correctly, and I gotta thank Jeff Hollingsworth he sent me a pair of pedals and really saved me here.
For you talking to us, we know that you don't get that 36 Chevy Silverado around the track by yourself. Who do you have to thank out there?
Gotta thank Team APC, and then of course Jeff. That was really nice of these pedals. I like it a lot.
And that's your third place finisher tonight, Bentley Glazer. And Andy, I think Martinsville never fails to excite everybody on the track tonight. I think tempers flared and everything went down tonight, Andy.
Yeah, tempers flared a little at the beginning, especially after that lap 1 wreck. But after that, everything pretty settled down. A long green flag run to end this one here tonight. A fantastic race. Fantastic for the first round of this first race of the second round of this championship run here. The round of 8 here as Byron Daly picks up the victory. Gets himself locked in now to the championship round. Back in Homestead here in about a month's time or so. So he's got a lot to think about it from that point, or from now until that point. But you look at Byron Daly, what he's done. Came into New Hampshire, first race of the first round. He wins it, gets himself locked into this round. So he's doing everything he possibly can right now to get himself there. He knows he's got a spot now to go for that championship here in a little bit. So that's a pretty cool deal for him. And for some of these other guys, like we mentioned, with Bentley Glazer having a great run here tonight, getting himself, he's not secure. JD Laird, not secure at all either. But these guys having this good run and finishing up towards the front, it takes the pressure a little bit off. We talked about with only 4 guys out of the 8 making it to the next round, Kelly, that top 10s aren't going to do it. Top 5s, top 3s, that's what's going to get you in this next round.
Yeah, and for some of these guys that didn't get that good finish they were wanting to, getting caught up in some of these wrecks, they really are going to have to come back at both Texas and Phoenix, run as hard as they can, and finish up in that field if they want to be able to get themselves into that Final Four. I mean, a win would be perfect, because, I mean, you win at Texas, well, now Phoenix doesn't even matter. You could just go to bed early that time, but for some of these guys, they're really going to have to start practicing right off the bat to find that line at Texas as soon as possible and be able to run as fast as they can right out the gate there.
I guess there's something to be said, Daniel, as far as the cream always rises to the top when it comes down to that championship run. 5 of our 8 championship contenders tonight were in the top 6 when it was all said and done. Says a lot when you do get down to this point of the season, how many of these guys, it shows why they're in the chase and why they've made it this far.
Yeah, and that's one thing about it is that you see somebody like a Byron Daly come up in here, and he's gonna, he kind of stole the show tonight. He's a DWC driver, and he's in this chase, and he's had all the pressure. He's been in DWC for years now, so all that pressure kind of goes away, and he can just relax in this. And now you get the guys like a Bentley Glazer, somebody who's probably not been in this situation that much. Pressure gets to them a whole lot more, and it's going to be one of those situations where who is good in the clutch moments of this chase.
That's what it's all about, and that's what we all get to do in 2 weeks' time here when we head to Texas Motor Speedway. The trucks always put a great show on there. The second time this season that these ASCORS SegPay Truck Series will visit the Texas Motor Speedway. The first time around, Adam Gilliland picking up the win that time. For everything for LSRTV, go visit livesimracing.com. You can check out our full broadcast schedule of everything that happens on a weekly basis here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. And we got lots of stuff coming up for you, including Friday night with this the Super Speedway Cup Series gets underway, or gets back into action again this Friday night, along with the United Sim Racing Truck Series on Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on LSRTV as well. As all these series get into the chases, the racing excitement heats up. We hope you all tune in for all of that. I want to thank SegPay for everything that they do, the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series, and as well as Garrett Smithley and the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevy Camaro as well, for everything that they do to help make these broadcasts possible. For everybody at the ASCORS Racing League, for JD Laird, Brian Schoenburg, for everybody at LSRTV, including tonight's broadcast crew, myself, Andy Kessler, Kelly Dahl, Daniel Everhart, and of course the lovely and talented Cisco Scaramuza. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and congratulations once again to Byron Daly getting his ticket punched to the championship round at Homestead in just a month's time. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here for Texas.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented under the authority of LSRTV LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations and may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form, nor the accounts and descriptions of this event disseminated in any way without the express written permission of Live Sim Racing TV. LSRTV would like to thank its loyal fans for their continued support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.